Hi, this is Thomas Wise. I'll be presenting our project today for Stephen Eggleston, Andrew Reagan, and me, Thomas Wise. Here, the Monkey King says, "Now that I've revealed my true form, perhaps it is time to reveal yours." The Monkey King had lied to Jin about his true form, which is why it relates to our paradox, which is paradox 1, who I say I am is often very different from who I actually am. And as the Monkey King had revealed who he truly was, Jin had to as well. And just as it was time for Jin to reveal his true form, it was time to start working on our project and show Mr. Bassett that we know what we're doing. I had pulled the pin on the grenade. I'd come up to a crouch. It was entirely automatic. In the ambush, the main character never expects to kill anyone, but when he does, he lies to himself about acting like a machine and starts to have nightmares about it. Like the main character, we never fully expected to procrastinate, but when we started to, we suffered for it. This quote relates to the paradox because he lies to himself about killing others, saying he does it naturally, even though he is consciously killing others. "Why'd he do it?" asked a white Washington state trooper. All the Indians shrugged their shoulders, looked down at the ground. "Don't know," we all said. But when we look in the mirror, we see the history of our tribe in our eyes, taste the failure in the tap water, and shake hands with old tears. We understand completely. This shows the paradox because the Indians don't want to show their problems to the police. They would rather just lie about their identity to keep a small bit of pride they have left. Just as the Indians once were a very proud tribe, but then they deteriorated, our group was doing very well at the start, but then procrastinated before picking it back up again. Then one of the boys said, "Shh." He was taking off his coat, the thin layer of ice splintering in flakes as he pulled his arms from the sleeves. But the inside of the coat was dry and warm. He covered two of the crouching pheasants with his coat, rounding the back of it over them like a shell. The other boys did the same. They all covered the helpless pheasants. The boys in What Happened During the Ice Storm show the paradox because they said that they wanted to kill the pheasants, but when the time comes, they saved them. Just like the boys in the short story, What Happened During the Ice Storm, where they helped the helpless pheasants. Andrew and I helped revise Stephen's grammar. He worked 6 days a week, 5 of them until 8 or 9 at night, during a time when his own company had begun the 4-day week for everyone but the executives. He worked like the important people. This is an example of our paradox because it shows how Phil tried to make himself someone he wasn't. And just like Phil in the short story The Company, we all worked hard through the last week of the project. It wasn't until many years later that I was fully able to appreciate her lesson and the true purpose behind our particular menu. For Christmas Eve that year, she had chosen all my favorite foods. Just like the quote by Amy Tan in the short story, it wasn't until many days after the start that we realized the importance of the project. We had failed to realize the importance of our project until we were getting close to the end. The quote relates to the paradox 1 because Amy initially tries to lie about who she is, but later realizes her mother was trying to help her act like herself. So, little friend, you've done it. Now, what would you like to become? Just like Jin did it in the American-Born Chinese book, where he changed his identity, we finished our project and changed our identity in the hope that we will not procrastinate next time. The quote relates to our paradox because Jin is going to lie about whom he is to others while still actually being someone else. What would Rowther think of our shabby Chinese Christmas? What would he think of our noisy Chinese relatives who lacked proper American manners? What terrible disappointment would he feel upon not seeing a roasted turkey and sweet potatoes, but Chinese food? This leads to the paradox because she hides that she likes the food to look normal to Robert. This describes our worries about having a bad project and getting a bad grade, but trying to look our best in front of others. And it relates to paradox 1 because Amy lies about not liking the food even though she does. When the doctors came, they said she had died of heart disease, of joy that kills. This relates to a paradox because she was lying to herself and to others about being fine with her husband's death. And so when the last night of working on the project came, we knew it was the end, but could not have been happier about finishing it. I should now be called the great sage, equal of heaven. Finally, after hours of long nights of procrastination and hard work, we finished the project and became one of the many who had already finished. But just like how there was someone still above the Monkey King, there will always be a project better than ours. And so both us and the Monkey King have fallen into the paradox one by lying about whom we are compared to who we actually are. Does that cover everything? Someone check the rubric. Questions. There we go. How will you apply the information learned from the paradox in novels to your understanding of life? We'll apply the information learned from the paradox in the novels by trying to act more true to who we actually are, and not only just saying, but doing what we say we are. How will this impact who you are and how you conduct your life? Like I've previously stated, we will try to act more true to who we are and what we say, so if we say something, we'll try to stand by it. How will it influence how you view others in the world? I would hope that it would influence us by allowing us to see others not for just face value, but for what might be going on so we can feel more sympathetic for them. Just like in some of our quotes, people have problems and they're not willing to share. And so, if we think they aren't, we need to try to pursue them and help them figure it out. That was me, I'm Andrew Reagan, Stephen Egglestein, and me, Thomas Wise's project. Thank you.